Let's go, boys. 100 to 1,000. Let's get into it. UFC 322, Maddalena versus Makhachev is where it starts. And let's get into our bets. Makhachev moneyline parlayed with Zhang and Shevchenko going to the decision. 2 units on that. Minus 118. I feel like this is pretty free. I feel like this is lock of locks right here. I don't see this really losing. Maddalena, a lot of people are maybe liking him, but I think that Makhachev is just built different. Zhang versus Shevchenko, that's a decision berg written all over it. I feel like both of them are tough enough to survive. I don't see them getting a submission. I think a knockout would be kind of flukish. Makhachev is going to get the takedowns. It's really a free bet in my eyes, so 2 units on that. Next up, we got Makhachev moneyline parlayed with Susurkaev inside the distance at minus 169, 2 units on that as well. And I'd say that this is another lock. I feel like both of these guys, they should be able to win. I think Susurkaev should just crush his opponent. I think he's going to finish him early in the first or second by KO. But honestly, I feel like you just take the safer option that he possibly could go for a submission. He likes having his fun with it, so not a round or a method, just inside the distance. I feel like that's a freebie. Minus 500 is a bit rough, but parlay that with Makhachev. That's a built different parlay right there. And minus 169, I feel like 2 units in profit. So next up, we got Makhachev money line, Zhang versus Shevchenko decision, Susurkaev inside the distance, and then Cortez versus Blanchfield going the decision, coming at plus 178, 1 unit on that. And you know what? Maybe I am going a little too hard on Makhachev, Susurkaev, Zhang, and I'm even going Cortez, Blanchfield in another bet. But you know what? I feel like you go big or go home. I feel like these are locks of locks, so I'm pretty confident in them. I feel like Cortez, Blanchfield, that is just another decision berg written all over it, just because both of them don't have knockout power. Blanchfield does have a submission threat, but Cortez is hard to take down and control, so I'd just say decision written all over it. And at minus 400, I feel like that's great odds. So let's move on to the next bet. Cortez, Blanchfield decision, Dawkins money line, and Klein money line. They are looking pretty rough odds-wise, but I'd say you parlay them, you're coming at minus 125, 1 unit on that. Mirshart, he's not going to be able to get the takedowns. Dawkins, he's more crisp on the feet. I believe that he possibly can't even get a submission here as well, but I feel like inside the distance could be a little bit risky, and I was debating betting on that or putting that on here, but Dawkins is a little bit fraudy himself, so at minus 470, who knows, maybe he'll win by decision. Just money line him. Line, I feel like she should just be the faster striker, the more well-rounded fighter. Hill is obviously dog tough. She's a veteran, and she's kind of honestly been beating some prospects. She even got a good win against Denise Gomez, and she has somewhat of a finish threat. I think that she's just going to be a lot faster. She possibly won't be able to get takedowns against Hill, but I think that is just another wrinkle in her game. That she has decent takedowns. She's got good striking. She should just be the younger, stronger fighter here, so I feel like it's a no-brainer, but 1 unit on that. Last up, we got Moneyline Brady at minus 135, 1 unit on that. I feel like Brady should be able to get the takedowns here. Morales is really unproven on the ground. He does have crazy power. I think that Brady being knocked out by Bilal kind of just shows that Morales can definitely knock him out, but I think that Brady is just too strong, too big. That performance against Edwards, a lot of people are downplaying it just because they think that Edwards is washed and old, but Brady just really brought it to him, got the takedowns really strong, and submitted him. And you know what? Edwards has never been submitted before, so say that the submission threat is definitely there in this fight against Morales, and odds are almost even, and I think that the money line is just a really good value bet, so 1 unit on that. Next up, we got Carlos Cortez by KO. I'd say another unit on that, just because I think that Carlos Cortez, he just has so much tools in his tool belt. He's got some crazy knees, some of the most nasty knees. And you know what? It really reminds me of Charles Oliveira clinch work with the knees. He's got a lot of knockout power. Edwards is really tough. Game plan should be to take down Cortez, but the knees down the middle while going for the takedowns could be a possibility of getting knocked out. I think that is really good value. So give me Cortez by KO, 1 unit on that. Then I think there's another value play on Dariush. Dariush money line at plus 150. I feel like he'll be able to stuff any takedowns or any ground game against Benoit. And Benoit, he really only has that knockout ability against Dariush because he is a bit chinny. But is Benoit really this striker? Like, he has this knockout power where he's going to build up and find his knockout shot against Dariush. Maybe you don't need all that, but I don't know if Benoit has this crazy power or has this crazy technique where he'll be able to find the shot. I feel like Dariush will be able to get the takedowns. I mean, it really showed. Moicano took down Benoit at ease, controlled him on the ground, and then what happened when Moicano tried to take down Dariush or do anything on the ground? He got just smothered on the ground. Dariush is just levels above him on the ground, and I don't think that Dariush is levels below Benoit on the feet. See Benoit getting taken down this fight, lay and pray. Going off of that, Dariush by decision at plus 450 I feel like is crazy, just because that's probably how he's going to win if he wins. So half a unit on that, and I feel like that's like a really good value bet as well, along with Cortez by decision. That's a really close fight in my eyes. I think that Cortez could get maybe takedowns of her own, but also I feel like she might be able to stuff the takedowns of Blanchfield because they're not like crazy technical. Blanchfield has some submission threat, but this one's going to decision. And you know what? In a 50-50 fight at plus 275, I feel like Cortez, this is a good little punt, little sprinkle. So half a unit on that. And I feel like these bets are pretty good. Another person that I feel like would be really good to bet on is Wellmaker. Wellmaker round 1 KO or just by KO. Wellmaker by KO at minus 185 is a really good shout. First round KO is plus money. I feel like he's short notice against a guy who's don't think he's near the level at the UFC, and knockout is always live for him because he's got some crazy power. That's going to be my bets for UFC 322, Maddalena versus Makhachev. This is going to be a crazy card. I'm excited. I think that there's some easy plays here. Let's make sure that we get this series off to a great start and make sure you cash in.